If you're just walking in, please be sure to come to the front and sign up for the Villain Raffle. Your chance to win amazing villainous prizes straight from Chico-Con. The more people who sign up, the better the prizes get. If we get a certain number, we'll be selling off this tall Asian man. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Chico-Con! Welcome to the very villainous Alpha Q panel. Right here at the end, we have our business manager, our editor, our all-around smartest person on the stage, Miss Shannon Duranovan, folks. Let's give it up for her. And over here, we have her lovely husband, the man who carries the bags, our artist, our inker, our letterer. Pretty much he does everything important. Mr. Tubi Duranovan, right here, folks. And last but not least,
The shy one.
the guy I came to see. Writer, creator, visionary, all-around good guy, Mr. Nathan Gonzalez, folks. Today's panel will be discussing Alpha Q Comics as a whole and our very awesome book, Villain. Now, right now, I want to turn the microphone, sorry, over to Mr. Tubi Duranovan to talk to us about Alpha Q Comics.
All right, Alpha Q Comics. Alpha Q Comics is it's an independent comic book publishing company. We started in 2012, and the only title that we have right now is Villain, but we are going to open up submissions soon, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So we'll touch on that towards the end of the panel before the raffle. So I'm gonna turn it back to Nathan, and we're gonna start talking about Villain.
That was good. So, let me tell you a little bit about Villain, folks. Villain is an online graphic novel. We update every Wednesday and Friday. We're absolutely free to view online. Free. Absolutely free. We make no money. Right now we are starting issue 12, so we have 4 through 12 on our website, absolutely free. It's always going to be free. The only thing you can't get for free is issues 1 through 3. Those are $5 each. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Villain as I get comfortable here. Villain is a revenge tale told through the bad guy's perspective, but it's a little bit more than that. It's a universe that I created to basically destroy. You as a reader are coming in at the very end of the universe. The heroes and villains have already established themselves. They're top tier. They're known throughout the world. You're coming in kind of blankly along with our protagonist here to learn about the world as you go along. The world of superheroes and supervillains in Legend City. Through manipulation and deceit, our protagonist ends up becoming the ultimate supervillain, and you find that out within the first 2 pages of issue number 1. We don't hide the lead, folks. He comes in, kills everybody. So through what's happening in the present, now he's remembering how he got to where he is. And he is remembering his journey along with something deadly that is happening to him in the present. It's a tale where it's multi-layered. And since there's so many characters and they're already at the end of their timeline, we also write origin stories for those characters, which are absolutely free to view online. They're just 4-page shorts just to tell you a little bit about who they are before I kill them. Oh, and there they are. That is the Villain universe. 28 superheroes and supervillains. Now, let me ask you folks, do you know which is which? Can you say which side's the heroes and which sides are the villains?
I would say that side's the heroes.
Left heroes, right?
It doesn't matter because you're wrong. They're all heroes and villains. This is a very, very flawed and messed up universe. The people who are considered the ultimate of superheroes are really pieces of dirt. They're bad people. But the people who are considered the most ultimate of supervillains, they're also pieces of dirt. But they have some redeeming qualities, you know, like us all. So, I lost my place. So, now that I've told you a bit about the story, absolutely free on Villain-comic.com, let me tell you how I came up with the idea. I was at a convention similar to this one, slightly bigger, held in San Diego.
Yeah, tiny bit bigger.
Yeah, slightly. And I was walking around and I just noticed that it was a really big hero year. You know, they had the superhero costumes, superhero drawings on all, superheroes, this, and I went, you know what about the villains? Why can they never win? Why are they just there to be cannon fodder to make the good guy feel better? So I started playing with that idea. And my first run through with this was a very different story than the one I have now. The first story I came up with sucked, let's just be honest. It was terrible. But then I happened to come across this book that's probably the most influential comic book anyone could ever read ever in their life. It is a little story called Watchmen. If you have not read this, folks, I highly recommend it. It'll change your universe. And not just comics, I mean it'll change the way you want to think about things. And Alan Moore, who is a personal friend of mine, no, that's not really true. Is probably the greatest comic book writer ever to live. So if you find anything of his, read it. And his tale, the first time I read it, made me want to be a better writer. The second time I read it, made me think I was stupid for wanting to be a writer, because there's no way I'd ever get to this. And then I just kept reading it and let his voice kind of soak into my head and used him to help guide me. And it also helps that I was a drama major. Shocker. So it's a little bit easier for someone like me to get into character, basically. That's how I write. I get into character, and I write how I feel that they would speak and talk. And that's an important thing to remember as a writer, is just to make sure that you're using a unique voice, not just always your voice. And I think I derailed a little bit. I'm sorry. Did I get off track? Yeah, the Inception. Yeah, so anyways, thought about it, came up with this great idea, went to my best friend Tubi, said, Tubi, I have an idea. And he goes, let me hear it. And I told him, he goes, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said, wait, you get to draw it. He goes, I love it. So then I switched over to Tubi and allowed him to take what I had built in my mind and start to put it down. And he's going to tell you a little bit about his thing.
Yeah, when Nathan came to me with the idea, the core concept of the idea was so intriguing that you know, it's just something that I had to start drawing. And when he started to create the characters, he came to me and said, "Look, this is what I'm thinking about," and I would sketch something out, and together we would work and flesh the characters out. And the guy that you see on the images, that's Alpha. That's our main character. And it took about 10 different rounds to try to flesh out how we wanted him to look and come across, because we didn't want him to be too soft or too hard at the beginning. So that's pretty much it, and the rest is history. We just sat down and said, you know what, we want to make comics, because we love making comics. We love comics, the medium in general, and we wanted to contribute to making comics, and that's why we're here now. Let me tell you a little bit about the history of Villain. It started as a webcomic in 2012, so 3 years ago. We submitted it to a few publishers, and you know, ultimately we didn't feel that it was ready to our standard, or the industry standard for that matter. We didn't feel like we were ready, so we wanted to hone our skills a little more, and we started it as a webcomic. And we decided to do it and put it out there for free because we wanted our story told and we wanted people to actually be interested in the story and the characters to justify them spending any sort of money on it. You know, because I know for me as a comic consumer, I have to be interested in what you're trying to sell me. And if I'm not going to spend any money. And our hope is you are interested with our concept, you are interested with our characters, and that you'll give us a chance. And I don't think you guys will be let down if you do. If you haven't, I know some of you already have the issues, so thank you for that.
Has anybody here read Villain? We just asked.
Oh.
Both of you.
All two of
Thank
you.
Woo!
Rescue, the books are $5 each.
And initially, when we first launched this book, we put our own money into it. We put ourselves into it, and since then, it's been able to sustain itself because people have been interested in the characters, and that was our goal. And I think we're doing a pretty good job with that. And the way the website works, we update the website twice a week on Wednesday and Fridays. We have not missed an update in 3 years. Every week in 3 years, we have not missed a new page.
And we know why.
But yeah, we have the warden up here. Yeah, she's got her whip. It's all good.
Cool.
So Villain is a 24-issue arc. It's 8 issues for each arc, so it's 3 arcs. I said that wrong, I'm very sorry. Right now we finished the first arc, we're halfway through the second arc. Things are just starting to really heat up. I'd like to tell you, but it's kind of spoilers. Let's just say a lot of people die. Like you saw those 28 characters right there? I think I'm down to about 12. So yeah, this is a book with a high turnover rate. Well, that in the very first issue, you get to find out nobody survives. This is brutality at its finest. This is rage. This is somebody who will not be denied, and there is great purpose for that. But you can only find out in issue number 2. Let me tell you just a little bit more in depth. Our main character, his name is Matthew. Matthew has to kind of play both sides, where he's playing the hero, that's the alpha character, but also when he's not around the heroes, he's playing Omega, which is his supervillain identity. And so he is the alpha and omega of this universe, the beginning and the end.
Yeah, look at the logo. Alpha,
Writer. Alright, so so are there any questions? Anything anybody want to say to make us feel better about ourselves? Alright, cool. So, the core.
All right, the core of our book, the core of Villain, isn't about superheroes, as Nathan has already told you in length. It's about seeing the story from the other side. People are not born inherently evil. They learn evil things from the things they experience or from their upbringing, how to become evil, or a certain situation just flips a switch in your mind and you become evil or do evil things. And even then, our question is it truly evil if you feel that it's just cause, that what you are doing is 100% right in your mind and in your heart? Is it evil? That's a question that we pose to our readers and even our characters within the story. And there's a lot of gray area between a good guy and a bad guy, as you'll see if you read the book. And we think that our book has so many levels that it'll keep you interested and it'll keep you reading. And what I like to say about it is that our story's told kind of like a Tarantino movie. It starts in the present and then it jumps back to the past to tell you how it got to the present, and it just does that back and forth, and that's easily definable by the color palettes that we choose. A full color palette, that means you're in the present time, And then if you see the purple and grays and the neo-noir tones, that means we're in the past. So it's pretty easy to follow along whether you're in the past or in the present.
Oh, also inside Villain, each arc is broken up a certain way that I did it, where as soon as you get done reading issues 1 through 8, as soon as you get to 8, you're going to immediately want to jump back to 1, because I've put little hidden Easter eggs all through the story so that you will learn information that way. The little things that will make you go, okay, I don't know what they're talking about, and then you read on a little bit more and go, holy crap, he knew what he was doing over here. So it's important that you know, like Alan Moore, you just want to keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. And that's how you get your numbers to higher if you are trying to do this yourself. You want people to come for the art, but stay for the story. You know, they love Tubi's art and his covers and stuff, but people aren't going to keep coming back unless you give them something of substance. You know, we have been at this, 3 years, and we're almost at 200,000 hits on our website. Business manager wants to talk to us.
So just a little rundown on our stats. Every month we have 10,000 hits on our website, and that includes people from over 39 countries that come on every single month to view Villain. We also have a high following on Facebook and Twitter as well, so you can find us on the social media networks. And so jump on. You guys are not too late to jump into this universe and join the ride with us. You can always go back. The only thing we ask is that 1 through 3 are not available online, but you can purchase them online if you can't pick them up today. Did you have a question?
What's your handle on Twitter and Facebook?
Our handle on Facebook is villain-comic.com, and then on Twitter it's villain_comic. And we also have business cards at our booth, which has all that information in case you can't remember it. That's all.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about creating a compelling bad guy, because you really can't have much of anything without a proper bad guy, and this story has them in spades. So what I had to do, because there are so many, is I had to use different types of villains. You know, you have your maniacal villain, you have your smart villains, you have your beefy villains, you have your tech villains. It's all basic sorts. We've all read comic books, so we all know kind of what we're looking at here. So what I did was I used those characters to basically mock their universes, to mock DC and to mock Marvel, because guess what? We got them too. They're the same characters, but now let's give them something a little bit more compelling to do. Let's give them a little bit more of a voice. Let's change their attitudes a little bit. And so now you have these certain types of villains, but they're different. They're flawed. That's what it is. They're all flawed. Our heroes and our villains both are flawed, and that's, for any reader, that's something that you can attach to. If you can see the flaws in somebody and relate to them, that makes you want to root for them. Or, you know, if you don't relate to them, wants to make you root against them. So, Villain is a book, and again, by issue 2, you as a reader are going to be given a choice. You're going to either side with the superheroes of this city, or you're going to side with the supervillains of this city. And either way, you're going to have a different reading experience. It's going to be different for you because your rooting options are now separate than, say, your friends. What if your friend is rooting for the villains? Well, you guys will read the same book and get different things out of it. And that is something, again, if you're trying to get into this business, you need compelling characters like that to bring your audience in. That's what they want to see. I did my writing process, folks. It's It's much like my panel process. I kind of just sit up here and talk. Like I said, I was a drama major, so I basically trapped myself in a room, bust out a little recorder, and I talk my way through what I want to do in the issue. Again, let's go with issue 2. I needed to hit 3 dramatic points, but they weren't until, say, like the middle of the book and towards the end. So what do you do to build that up? Character development. So you just start slowly getting into your characters. With Matthew, it's very simple. Matthew is me. Anytime you read villain and you're reading the main character, that is exactly me. This is what I would do in this situation. Now, when you read other characters, like the big gigantic man here that's being shown, that's Brickhouse. Brickhouse is from the ghetto. He's a big, tough man and doesn't take anything from anybody. I'm trying to keep it PG, I see kids. So, he has to be a bit more gruff, foul language, not afraid to punch a, he has to be a little bit more quick-tempered. The lady you see next to him, that's Vex. She's a sorceress. So now that's an entirely different mindset that I have to get into as a writer, but being female and being probably smarter than I am. So I have to look up big words and sources. Oh God, it's crazy. But that's how I approach it, and I know most writers don't approach it that way. Most writers probably graduated and passed an English class. I have done neither. Seriously. But I was an actor, and so that's where I get that from, and that's pretty much my process.
And which is why he asked me. I was an English major. So once Nathan finishes an issue, he sends it over to me. As an editor, I am not trying to change Nathan's writing at all. What I go through is I look for grammatical errors, punctuation, just basic tweaks. But I do not change his characters whatsoever, because that's what makes a villain universe. And then after I finish that, I send my edits back to Nathan, and then he gives them a look. Sometimes we'll go through a few edits to make sure the issue is as polished as possible, and then we send it over to Tubi.
All right. And I read the issue, and the way Nathan writes an issue, I really base it off the dialogue that he's given the characters. He'll give me a panel. He'll say, "All right, Alpha and Brickhouse are in the panel and they're talking." That's all he gives me, and that's fine, because I like to be the director of the book, and that's what an artist really is. It's a director, cinematographer of a comic, and it guides you through, and the writer provides the concept, ideas, and the dialogue to make the whole thing. From issues 1 through 7, we actually had someone else on our team. He was an inker, but due to some personal reasons, he had to leave. So from issues 8 all the way now to currently, we're on issue 12. I have taken all of the art chores, so I do all the penciling, inking, coloring, and lettering, and I put up the whole website and update every page every week. So I mean, I do a lot, but I love to do it, and that's all I can really say. If you're passionate about something, you're gonna put your whole self into it, 100%. And even if you go along and you fail, just keep doing it because you love to do it. I mean, no one's gonna tell you to stop. Do it. What's gonna make you happy? And I love making comics, and I love working with my friends here, and it's been amazing.
Yeah. Even if just one person comes back and be like, "Hey, I read that book," that is the greatest feeling that you can have. I swear, I've had 2 people today come up to me and say, "Hey, I saw you last year and I read Villain. I really liked it." That made my day. I could go home right now and be just as happy as can be. She wants to make more money, but I would be just as happy as can be.
And we've also had, if you look at this cover, we've had a lot of great artists step up and give us variant covers to our comics. This one's actually from Warren. He's actually part of the Scattered Comics brand. You guys see the whole big scattered comics area. Those guys are really good friends, and they really do step up and help us out and have provided covers for us. And we've been fortunate enough to meet a lot of artists along our journey to contribute art to the book as well, and we're real grateful for that. All right, now we're going to touch back on Alpha Q Comics. I did tell you guys that it is an independent comic book publisher, but this year is the first year that we're going to start accepting submissions. But it's not going to be like if you're just a writer or if you're just an artist, we're not going to take unsolicited submissions like that. Don't just send your art and expect us to call you back and say, hey, we have something for you. What we're looking for are actual projects. Like if you're a writer-artist and you have an idea, put it down on at least, what we're looking for is a story from at least 5 to 8 pages, and submit that. Give us something tangible that we can hold, that we can read. It doesn't have to be original copies, just photocopy it. It has to be lettered. It does not have to be colored, but if it is, that's better. But that's the only way we'll even take a look at it if it's a whole project. We're looking for stories, and we want it to fit our brand. We're not looking for like My Little Pony. Alpha Q Comics is not going to publish My Little Pony. We're looking for something gritty, something real, something raw.
To make people think and change their mind. That's what we're trying to accomplish.
So, when we're taking submissions, our new website is actually going to launch before the end of the year, and you will find a link on our new website under submissions, and it'll give you all the information and where to send it. Like I said, we're looking for some cutting-edge stuff, some character-driven material, because we know that the thing that resonates in people's minds are the characters. So we're looking for that. So definitely go to our website, villain-comic.com, sign up for the mailing list, and you'll know all of that information when it does come out.
All right, any questions that we can give answers to? Doesn't really have to be comic book related. Yes, sir.
Ethics and values with your villain and heroes.
Yes.
Is it set up to today's standards or the villain universe?
Yeah, a little bit of both actually. The villain universe itself is bright and shiny on the surface, but underneath it's anything but. So yeah, just a kind of a little bit of both. I use what I see daily in the books. So I mean, it's personal. Like what happens to these people, he's doing for personal reasons, and so it's mean and vengeful and violent.
To today's standards or to the villain universe standards? Or is it combined with both?
I would say it's combined with both. I mean, obviously it's a comic book, so we go out of our way to make it kind of violent. This is not a kid's book. In fact, this is an adult book. This is not for your children. I have a very foul mind, and I just let it fly. So, yeah, keep your kids away from me. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
This is on the business side. Regarding revenue, I mean, you guys have to make something to survive. Do you have sponsors on your website? If it's to keep it free for those of us that want to go, take advantage of seeing your stuff, how do you keep it free for us?
So when we first started, it was us putting up the money to get it going, to pay the website fee once a year, to pay for any promotional materials that we may have needed. Once we decided to print issue 1, I went to some of our friends and I got advertisers for the back of the book. So each book has 2 pages of advertisers, other comics, other independent comics, comic book stores, anyone that loves the project and has wanted to do an ad in the back of the book. From there, that's how we print our book. Everything that we make at conventions, it goes right back into the product. So we turn around and then we reprint issue 1, or then we decide to do issue 2, same process again, as I said, everything just keeps churning it along. We also have been very fortunate these last couple of years that we've been invited to conventions. So today at Chico-Con we are a special guest. Shane is a good friend of ours, and he has invited us back for 2 years now as special guest. So then that definitely cuts down on our costs as well. But everything we make goes right back in. The three of us have not made a cent off of Villain. We do it only because we love it.
And because I really have an ego problem, and I like to be on the other side of the table and sign stuff. Like, I sign his stuff, but I don't even do it. Yeah, that's why I keep coming to these conventions and keep rolling, because I just love it. I love talking to people and trying to get into creative minds and just getting into it. It's a lot of fun. So it's worth it. Any other questions? All right, Chico, you've waited long enough. Are you guys ready to raffle? Oh, I'm sorry. Are we in a church? I said, are you ready to raffle?
Yeah!
There we go. There we go. Oh, I gotta do the whole spiel? I have this normal spiel I do for raffles for every convention, and this is our first panel, so this is gonna be a little bit different, but since I love you guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you the whole spiel. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go. Oh, are you ready?
Yeah!
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Chico-Con and Alpha Q Comics proudly brings to you the #1 graphic novel in the world! And according to my lawyers, I can't really say that, so just stick with me. Villain! Villain-comic.com. Get your free villainous needs. Issues 1 through 3 at the booth right over here by the door. I can't do much more. I can only lead you. You must follow. $15 for not just these 3 issues, but for 24 packful issues. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to an end. And I just want to thank you all, because this is our first panel, if it didn't show. So I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming, for listening to me talk on and on and on and on and on about nothing. I'd like to thank them for being here, because without them, you would have to listen to me more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of the con. I hope to see you at our booth, but if I don't, I understand. Just make sure you buy something from some sort of independent creator here today. Thank you very much. And remember, the 7 o'clock show is entirely different than the 4 o'clock show.